Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I want to now explain the meaning behind Arabic grammar, and hopefully this will be fairly short. Essentially, Arabic grammar, Nahu, I'rab, we make the most fuss about this when learning and teaching the Arabic language, and we overcomplicate it way, way, way more than is necessary. I have introduced in previous videos this idea of i'rab. I haven't perhaps called it as such, but if we recap, I did use the word declension. So first and foremost, you read some Arabic books speaking about the miracle of the Arabic language, that Arabic has this thing called i'rab, which distinguishes Arabic from other languages, that words themselves will change, giving forth other meanings. So I'm sorry to pop the what's the word on a bubble here, but Arabic is actually not the only language which does that. In fact, almost every single language does that. It's just that modern languages are really they're formed over a huge process of decay. Usually, as things become older, they wear down and they decay. And that's what happens to languages. Old English actually had it Arab. Old English had a more complex morphology and syntax. And most languages are like that. So this, I mean, I don't want to use a a word of phenomenon, but this structure is not unique to the Arabic language, but rather it is something universal in language itself. In English grammar, really Western grammar in general, we call it declension. Declension from the word to decline, to come down. If I redraw a table, so remember we have from the root word, from a root of ra, jim, lam, we have this meaning rajul, rajul. And maybe just to revise a bit of our etymology, right? I'll put it over here. We have a root, an asl, right, of ra, jim, lam. These letters have meanings in and of themselves. These meanings come together in this combination of ra, jim, lam. Now this ma'na, this meaning, comes down into some form, a mabna, um, and we can say the structure is a fara' of the asl. Asl means root or principle, and fara' literally means branch, like a tree. If you go back to the video I spoke about, Arabic language is like a tree. So now this root is coming down onto this form, is going to be rajul, so fa'ul. This is the form of a noun. So you get this noun rajul. It's a kind of a rarer form, actually. It doesn't occur as much. Regardless, that's a brief review of etymology and how that works. Let me section that off. Yes, bit of etymology. And it's good to do these recaps. It's very good. Because the way to learn anything, especially the Arabic language, is by recapping. So if anyone's getting bored of me speaking about this again and again, if you want to learn the Arabic language, be prepared to hear this another 1,000 times. And that's the only way. Because I've been doing this for years. Every time I literally re-repeat a basic definition, I learn something new. I also teach mathematics. Every time I go back to literally the most basic mathematics, I teach even addition, basic algebra. After 10 years, I still learn something new in every single class I give. So there's no such thing as graduating from the basics. Rather, we want to deepen in the basics continuously. Anyway, coming back to the discussion at hand, rajul, declension. How did we do this? We said, well, it can be definite, the man, can be indefinite, a man. You have something called construct as well. Actually in all languages, it ends here. So this is an example. Arabic does have something unique. That it has another thing called the construct case. I'll just put the English over here as well. So you have like the man, a man. The construct is when you want to say man of, and then you have another noun there. I have to put dot dot dot. Man of something, like man of the house. The word the house is going to change over here. The man is also going to change. So the whole idea of declension is that we have a word, nouns. We have nouns. Nouns are going to change to give forth other meanings. Whereas in English, we would say, I gave the book to him. The book is not changing. If I just said the book, could be anything, right? If I just say the book, al-kitab, you don't know what it is. It could be I'm speaking about the book, it's the subject. I could be giving the book, it's the object of the verb to give. I could be reading in the book. You have no idea. In Arabic, you do. In languages with declension, and really when we speak about ancient languages, and make no mistake, Arabic is very, very ancient. If you study a course in linguistics, they might teach you that Arabic is, 1500 years old. The Qur'an is 1400 years old. Now, Arabic is thousands of years old, and a deep understanding of Semitic languages will prove that very easily. So with these very ancient languages, we see this. Every word is not just a word, it's an entire universe. It has a table of meanings. The meaning obviously here is changing, like the man, a man, man of. In English, we have to add other words, the and a. In Arabic, the word itself will change. But if I want to say the man, the meaning of the is coming from this meaning of al, ar rajul. The meaning of a man comes from the tanween at the end. You will say like rajulun and ar rajulu. For the construct case, if I want to say man of something, the word man has to change by having rajulu. Rajulu. It's like cut in half. It's not rajulun because it's not the man, it's man of, but neither is it man. So the u is telling us that this is not a complete sentence or it's not a complete noun. You cannot just say rajulu usually. And I've added the u ending, the dhamma. So this is, before I called this, I didn't actually give a name for this. I just said subject, object, and preposition, which is good. It's a very good way to understand this and to first learn this. But the truth is, it's used for more than just the subject and objects. It might have come up in some previous videos, but when you have an adverb, for example, I want to say that I came quickly. So I came, ata, ana ataitu, quickly. So quick, something is quick is sari'. So what is it? We could say ana ataitu wa ana sari'un. Ana ataitu sari'un because I am the subject. And so it follows the subject. That's a possibility, but it's not the way we say I came quickly. It's an adverb. Quickly isn't going back to me per se. I'm not always quick, am I? But in this occurrence, when I came quickly. So ataitu sari'an. The an ending, the object ending, is going back to the verb. So now this kind of gets into where I'm going with this. So yes, it's the object, but a bit more than the object. It's the subject, but it's a bit more than the subject. So let's actually just break apart the very mystery of Arabic grammar once and for all. Let's finish this table. So you see that every word has a 3 by 3 table, and that's just a singular. Then we have the dual and the plural, but let's put that aside for now. Sorry, الرجل رجلان and رجل. And then preposition was الرجل رجل, and construct, you just fix it on the E, no tanween. So that's our table. That's our table. And it's actually extremely easy to learn because the truth is you just have to learn U, A, E, U, Un, U, and you've got it. So yes, when you learn any grammar, you're going to see pages and pages and pages of verb forms. I mean, do I have my book here? I believe I do, yes. I'll explain this book at a later date, but where is it? Yeah, at some stage we have basically tables of all the verb forms, and if you just look at this, it looks horrible. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see this in the camera, and I don't think you can. Yeah, it shows up. Oops, there. So you have like pages of this. You have one page. Let's go to the second page. So there's like, I don't know, 50 verbs on one page. Look at that, another page. Another 50 verbs over here. And there's like, 20 pages, more than that, like 50 pages of 50 verbs. Of course, if that's the way you're being taught language, if that's the way you're learning language, I would be shocked if you continue for more than a week. I would be shocked, and I'd seriously congratulate you for your perseverance. In fact, if you have done that, if you've taken a course in the past, and that's how you've been taught, and you're still coming back to learn the Arabic language, أبشركم, I give you good news that ستنالون العربية, like you will learn the Arabic language because that perseverance you have to literally not give up and throw the entire thing away. That perseverance is undoubtedly going to actually give you the knowledge of the Arabic language, God willing. So yes, you do have hundreds, thousands of possible forms of a word, but it's an algebra. They're generated. There are rules for generating this table. Do I have 10,000 forms in my head right now? No, I don't. What I do have is about, let's say, 100 fundamental ideas. It's not a lot when you think about it. Like that, fundamental ideas by which I can do anything in the Arabic language. So, and 100, I mean, maybe that's a bit much, I think, to really begin to start gaining fluency in the Arabic language, to be able to read, listen, even speak and understand Arabic through Arabic. Realistically, maybe there's about 20 to 30 fundamental ideas you need, which is, it's work, no doubt, but it's not inaccessible by any means. So the way we're going to learn is not by just blindly memorizing entire tables, by understanding the meanings of tables. And I've done this before. If you go back to my previous videos, we spoke about the nouns, the verbs, but I explained the meaning of what's going on in the table. Remember the verb, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, all this type of stuff. I explained what's happening. So yes, there's 14 times 2, 28 forms you need to know, but there's a pattern. So is it really 28? And now every single verb we are ever going to see comes back to that table right there. So it's quite simple, I would argue, if one has the foundation and focuses thereon. Anyway, opening up the secret of Arabic grammar, I can do that right now. It's the understanding that there's a table. Every word is going to have a table. The way the word gives forth other meanings. Because you don't just have I mean, let's take a word like book. Yes, there's the idea of the book, so you have kitab. The idea of the kitab, the idea of kitaba, the idea of kataba, this deep idea. But one idea is not just there, like a tree. I see a tree now, but I don't see the tree. I see a particular aspect of the tree. I never see something for what it is. If you have a cube, I look at a face of the cube, but the cube has six faces. I might see some I'll never see unless I go to the other side. A word in Arabic is like that. It's a solid, it's a universe, a galaxy of meanings. You will see at one point one face of the word. You will see like al-kitab, but you have the whole table of what it can be. Three form, oh sorry, nine forms, 3 by 3. Then it can be dual, times that by 2. It can be plural, so you have three of these tables. And in fact, words in Arabic sometimes, actually usually, have multiple plural forms. So there's many tables. Again, before you panic, it's the same table just repeated. And this table is the same thing just repeated. Everything in the world which God has created has multiple meanings and facets and angles and perspective and manifestations. Words are realities, as we said. Words are not representations of things. Words are the inmost essences of those things themselves. God spoke the world to be. Kun fayakun. So these essences of things, a thing is not just an essence, it's an essence plus some way in which it appears. I'm not just a human being. I'm a human being with this attribute and this age and this everything, all my attributes. So for words, you have the basic naked word, and the word for abstract in Arabic, mujarrad, literally means naked. It's like I've stripped away all of its clothing, all its attributes. If I strip away all these vowels, what do I get? I just get rajul. I strip away even this, the form fa'ul, and I get rajala. I strip everything away, what do I get? Letters. And what does the Qur'an begin with? Alif, lam, mim. Letters. If I take away all these forms and structures, I get back to the absolute essences of things, letters. We're going the other way round now. We're beginning with this absolute basis of archetypal meanings and building them together like Lego blocks. How do we build things together? That's what the Arabic grammar is telling you. Now, focusing on nouns, I'm just going to do this for this video. What's going on over here? So these three things is obvious. Definite, indefinite construct. I mean, if you understand, and you do understand, of course, what the man is, a man is, and man of the building, the house is, then that's that. Ar-rajul, rajulun. Rajulun, a man. Rajulu al-bayt. Then you say a policeman is rajulu ashurta. Ashurta, police. Rajulu ashurta. So we understand this top, the columns we understand. There's actually more to be said. I mean, these meanings are very, or rather, these structures of al and un and u have very deep meanings. And if you go deep into Arabic grammar, which I hope you will, God willing, you learn these meanings, especially as they come in the Qur'an. But put that aside for now, we just need to learn the structures before we can go into the deep meanings. So those are the columns. Now, just these rows. And that's what declension really means. To decline. Declining what? We can now finish the story we began at the beginning of this video. We're going down. We are declining down the table, which implies that this subject case is the most important, which it is. So again, the solid analogy, the face analogy, we have 9 faces of this meaning. Let's go here. Let's just do uh let's do al-kitab now. Al-kitabu, al-kitab, and al-kitabi. In Arabic, the names for these 3 cases are, yeah, you call this case the case of raf'un, or you could say the halatu ar-raf'i. Let's just say raf'un for now. Raf'un. Second, nasbun. And last, jarrun. To be honest, this I won't emphasize at the time being that these Arabic words, but for your knowledge and your interest, rafa'a means to raise up. So this is that which is raised up because we're declining, i.e., it's the highest thing at the top. This is the top of the pyramid. Maybe a better way to think of this shape, which the word is a pyramid. Rajulun, ar-rajulu, al-kitabu, it's all the way at the top. Now we're coming down to its faces. What's happening here? Nasaba means to kind of set something up. To set something up. So the idea is that, okay, it's standing. It's still upright, but it's not at the very top. Jar means to drag. Okay, now that's at the top. It was up, it was all the way at the top. Now it's upright. Now I'm dragging it. So I'm going down. I'm debating whether I'm just going to give it the English slash Latin names for this. And actually, I think it is very good to know this. We call these 3 cases the nominative, the accusative, and the genitive. Raf'un, nasbun, jarrun. Right, these 3 things. Now, what's going on over here? So I bring my color back. We said before, this is, in fact, let's not bring it back. Let's do this color. Yes, the prototype, I like that, the archetypical example of when a noun is nominative, marfu'un, is when it's the subject. When it's in this accusative case, that's when it's the object of a verb. This genitive case, al-kitabi, is when it's a preposition, or rather, let me say this. I mean, of course, it's not a preposition, when it's the object of a preposition. And the other one is when it is the thinking of a good way to phrase this. I mean, let's go back to our example. Let's actually go back to our favorite example, Kitabullah. Kitab, bu, construct. So already, if I just say kitab bu, you must be thinking book of, and you're anticipating book of what? The book of God. Kitabu Allah. What's Allah? Allahi. So, and I can also say when it's the object of a preposition, like I was reading inside of the book. Fi al-kitabi. Inside of the book. Or the book of God. Saying of the thing. How shall I write that? There's a name for this in Arabic. Again, I don't want to overcomplicate the matter, but this structure is very, very important. It's one of the most common things you will see. So if this doesn't make complete sense at the moment, I would say just continue reading and studying because it will. I mean, if we go through one page of the Qur'an together, I can guarantee you that you will understand this. because it will occur at least 10 times on one page, if not more. It's like the most common structure. The book of God. Actually, you would say the book of God because it's not book of God. It's kind of become definite because book of God is, we know what that is. So we say the book of God. That's just to translate. So maybe let me say the object of a noun, object of possession, of possessive structure, if that makes sense. See, I was debating of how to name this. This is where at some stage going into Arabic words is necessary. You can only understand Arabic through Arabic. But this is just the intro. We're just still not diving into the ocean right yet. We're getting our feet wet before we can then dive in completely. So by this I mean is kitabu, book of God. This word of God is the object of the possessive phrase. Right? Look over here. Fi al-kitabi. Fi, I can't just say inside, in, out, by. By what? In what? Out of what? We even say out of what? It's the object. It completes this prepositional phrase. Kitabu. Kitabu what? Book of what? It completes this phrase. Allahi. That's what's going on here. Jar, to drag. It's like this noun is being dragged by this thing over here. The meaning of this noun is pulled. Maybe drag is not a good word to use, especially with the name of God, but is being pulled by this. The preposition is like in physics you have charged particles, right? And in chemistry, like an ion, like a charged particle, is screaming out for something to bond to. You don't get these things on their own; they bond to something. A preposition never exists on its own; it's screaming for something to bond it to. And in fact, that thing which is closest to it, it bonds to it. You can't have in Arabic, you cannot have a delay between the preposition and the word. So it pulls, and that's what E is doing. In Arabic grammar, they actually say that the sound has a meaning, and we've spoken about this so much. E has a meaning. E, it's like gliding, sliding, flying. E, it's being pulled into the orbit of the preposition. Same thing with kitabu Allahi. You can't have kitabu. This is saying that I'm joining this noun to the next noun. So it's again, same thing. It's literally screaming out for a noun to join to connect to. This is not a book, it's the book of God. It's so powerful, even just this grammatical structure. It's like this word book. I mean, in one sense, we say it's pulling the name of God to it. It's because the name of God dominates this. God is the possessor, the owner of this. This is called idafa in Arabic because idafa literally means to relate, to connect something to another thing. This is the mudaf. Ana udifu, I'm connecting al-kitab, the book, ila, to Allah, to God. So we call this the mudaf, the thing being connected. And this is the mudafun ilayhi, the thing which is being connected to. The book is being connected to God, the book of God. So one of these cases we can tick off. Believe it or not, if there's three cases, 1/3 of Nahu is done already. Because not only have we explained how this works, but why it works, what's going on deeply. This is about the connection of a noun to another noun or a preposition. What's another nice color? Let's go with green. Actually, that's way too bright. So this is about connecting a noun to another noun, to another preposition or noun. If you wanted to be even more abstract, we could say actually it's the idea that you have a structure, because we want to abstract this. What's in common between the preposition and this construction of the noun to another noun? What's in common is that we have some grammatical structure involving a noun. It's like slotting into this structure. That idea of slotting into it, being pulled by it. What's a nice analogy for this? It's like maybe, I don't know, inserting your card or something into the credit card machine, and it pulls it into it. It's some machine, it's a structure. We insert this noun into it, it pulls, accepts this noun into itself. When that's occurring, kitabi, kitabin, al-kitabi, according to whatever it is. That's one third. Let's look at these two now. Let's go all the way back up to the beginning. So it's the subject. Yes, we know that. ذلك الكتاب. Subject. That is the book or that book. لا ريب فيه. No ريب in it. No doubt in it. Certain. So the subject comes first, or alhamdu. First word, subject. Alhamdu is the highest thing of the pyramid because a sentence is like a shape. Not only is a word a shape with sides, a sentence is a shape with sides. A slight maybe off point, but at least in Western grammar, they say that, well, what's the smallest shape? The smallest, most simple shape is a triangle. You must have at least 3 sides to form a shape. A sentence or a word is like a line, or a point even. A sentence is like some geometric figure putting words together. So a sentence must have at least 3 words, because you need at least 3 to form a shape. Arabic is a bit different because, of course, there is no word is. They're speaking about the sky, or sky, yeah, the sky is blue, if you consider the sky one word. Or I am going. But in Arabic, there is no word for is. Regardless, yes, this is the subject, but we say, let's think of a, I want to say the book is, what is the book? The book is open. Al-kitabu, open, is maftuh, the maf'ul of fataha. So al-kitabu maftuh, think, which one? It's actually a good exercise. Question, is it maftuhin? Think. It is not because no preposition, no possession. So it cannot be. Okay, so it's either maftuhun or maftuhan. Which one? Now you would be very, very, forgiven if you would have guessed maftuhan. There's nothing, it makes sense. Subject, so predicate should be here, but no, it's maftuhun. So now we're understanding these two structures, these two cases. I said subject. Maybe a better way to think of this is a noun is at the top and it's, I'll say, at the top of the pyramid. Let's say this. A noun is always nominative, marfu. It's always unless there is a reason otherwise. Maybe this sounds like a kind of a cheat way to put it, but no, again, something very deep is going on here, which, I mean, I did promise I'm going to crack open the mystery of the Arabic grammar, which I believe I'm doing, but some mysteries are better left unsaid for the time being. You don't want to give everything away. This is a good way to think about it. The default case of a noun is nominative, marfu'. When you see a noun, go ahead and slap the ending to it, or the u, as necessary. Unless you are given a reason otherwise. What's the reason otherwise? It's about syntax. Syntax means sin, if you know that from the prefix. synchronicity, to be with chronos, time. Syntax is all about being with other things, i.e. connection. Nahu. Nahu means a way or a path. It's the path these words are walking. It's about joining things together. We say syntactic structures. The reason otherwise is when there's some structure going on. This is one very good reason. It's not going to be nominative because it's being pulled by another noun. So over here we said pulled by a noun. In fact, I didn't say that. I should. Pulled by, sorry, not just a noun, by the structure. And that can be preposition / noun. What's nasab? Set up. So it's something's happening to it. I mean, if it's being set up, it's the object of this act of putting upright, setting up. Okay, what's doing that? There must be something, right? Just as something's pulling the noun, something must be picking it up. This is, again, a very, very good way to think about it. The object of a verb. The noun is being, what's another nice way to say put up, set up? I have no idea. Let's just say is being connected. The noun's being connected by a verb. Well, let's not say verb because this is the point. It's not just verbs. You have, well, we'll see this when it is to come, but it's basically verbs. That makes sense. Yes, there are, I mean, there are no exceptions. People speak about exceptions in language. There are no exceptions in the Arabic language. The Arabic language is an absolutely pristine, perfect, mathematical, geometrical system and structure because it is the language of God. This is the language by which God breathed forth existence from himself. This is the language of the mind of God, if we can say that. Right? Qur'ānun Arabiyyun Mubin. What is the Qur'an? Kalamullah. What is the kalam? The word of a person? His mind. That's not just in Arabic, in Greek. Logos. Logic is not just what you say, it's what you think. Where am I going with this? Well, connections. That yes, that the language therefore is perfectly symmetrical. There are no exceptions. And I promise I can explain everything in the language. There are no exceptions. But to do that, we need to use generalizations and principles. And if something moves slightly away from what we might expect, we explain that to bring it back into the remit and orbit of the pattern. So for now, let's say the noun is being connected by a verb. And let's add verb like. Whenever it's going to be a accusative, it basically looks like a verb is acting upon it. Oh, maybe that's a better way to say connected. A verb's acting on it, nasab. يعني الفعل ينصبه. The verb's picking it up, acting upon it. And if that's the case, it's more than just the object. An adverb is also there as well. And everything we see, the other forms of this, go back to something like this occurring. So in short, what we've done over here is give forth something very profoundly deep, actually. I believe this is the mystery, the secret of Arabic grammar. We're not just explaining what it is, and yes, you have the table, we learn this table, we use the table, but why it is. So now we can proceed. So add a few things here, not just subject, the predicate. If there's no verbs in a sentence, again, Arabic is unique. I can say sky blue. السماء ذا سماء السماء زرقاء. Sky blue. And that means what we want it to mean. The sky is blue. And زرقاء زرقاء, let's just say. Un. There's oo's. Unless I have a reason otherwise. Let's say the sky appears blue. السماء تبدو تفعل تبدو بدا يبدو to appear. السماء تبدو. Now زرقاء. But what's the ending? Un and in. زرقاء it was before. Because the predicate, again, no reason to change it, so it's un. But now there's a reason. It's appearing blue. I mean, I wouldn't say blue is necessarily the object of the verb to appear. Does that really make sense? Does appearing have an object? Is appearing acting upon something? No, but clearly, let's not overcomplicate it. That the blueness of the sky is connected to the fact that the sky is appearing blue. السماء زرقاء, the sky is blue. السماء تبدو زرقاء. And this is the beauty of the Arabic language. I don't even need to think about what's the way it's connecting. Is it, is it an object? Is it's the predicate? Is it some adverb? An. These words we're saying, subject, predicate, you don't even need to say this. The meaning of being a subject, the meaning of being a predicate, the meaning of being the object of a verb. That's what this table is giving you. The pyramid, I think we prefer to call this the pyramid of the word, with all its faces, however many there may be. This is giving the meanings of this general thing, the sky, the book, whatever it is, in its various connections to reality itself. So if I just said man, you don't know anything more than just the fact that I'm speaking about the idea of a man. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe I mean I'm about to say no man or something like that. But in Arabic, the declension, right, the table, the form of this noun is going to tell you a lot straight away. If I just said rajulan, rajulan, if I just said that, you need to have a meaning in your mind, not just man. That's not good enough. If you want to start to become an Arabic thinker, which is deeper than being an Arabic speaker, most Arabic speakers don't think in Arabic. If you want to become an Arabic thinker, this must have a meaning for you. Rajul, great, that has a meaning. If you're really good, it's going back to the root meaning and the form fa'ul, and you understand that. Now also, this is the etymology, the syntax, the declension, the an ending. Well, immediately, what might be good to train is that an indefinite, a man, the meaning of a-ness, of indefiniteness. So meaning, if I say a man, it can be, I'm speaking about a general man, any man. There's a meaning there with the an ending. But then it's not just the tanween, it's the fact that it's an and not un and in. So an, it's been connected to, let's say, a verb. Okay, I haven't given you the verb yet, but you know it's there and you're anticipating it. So rajulan has a meaning in your mind. At the very least, you're not thinking subject. I'm definitely not speaking about a man, am I? If I say rajulan, I'm speaking about something else. And the man is connecting to the thing which I really want to talk about somehow. For example, rajulan, right? It's resonating in your mind, the sound, the word, the meaning. Laqitu. Fa'altu, ana fa'altu. Laqiya, to meet. Rajulan laqitu. A man I met. And this is the beauty in Arabic. I don't necessarily need to have a certain structure or order to words. In English, you'd say, I met a man. Because the fact that a man is the object of the verb comes from the fact that a man comes afterwards. Maybe let's write this down. رجلا. You know immediately that a man, object of verb. This is the beauty of the Arabic language. This is the beauty of language. If you really learn it thoroughly and deeply, meanings are being conveyed here. رجلا. And then I complete the triangle. There's a triangle with two sides, however that works. لقيت فعلت. I met. A man I met. So obviously this is not going to occur in one day. But from here on onwards, when learning the language, you want to learn and feel, intuit the meanings of these forms. This is declension, how the nouns are going to change. Conjugation, how the verbs change, we have done. Together, alongside our etymology, that forms the absolute foundation of the Arabic language. If you learn this table, you learn the verb tables I've shown you. You watched the video I just made about how to learn Arabic vocabulary. With all these things put together, we can now begin to learn the Arabic language really thoroughly. I mean, we can begin to experience and taste and feel and live the Arabic language. So that is now my encouragement to you all. If nothing else, watch these videos, learn the tables, begin to intimate them, and not just familiarize, intimate yourselves with them, and live them and feel them. And we can thus continue. Now you understand the big mystery of Arabic grammar, and hopefully it is not as complex at all as you might think. Yes, there's other things. It can be used like this and this and this, but it's all going to come. And not only is it going to come, now it's going to come in an ordered and structured and symmetrical way. So let me leave this here for now, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video. Wassalamu alaikum.